Jeff, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it. For those that haven't had the pleasure of meeting you, share with everyone your name, your company name, and where you guys are located.
All right, Jeff Payne, Rescue Air here in Dallas, Texas.
Very good. And what do you do? What do you do for us?
Sales technician.
Sales technician for now, right?
For now.
And then maybe it's pivoting into a full-time.
There's a conversion to CA coming.
Very good.
But yeah, sales technician has been successful for the last few years here.
Absolutely. Yeah, let's talk about that.
Yep.
That success. You said the last 2 years have been really good, right?
Last 2 years.
Chance to brag. Go ahead.
Yep, last 2 years have been phenomenal. 2022 was over $4 million as a sales tech, and then 2023, $3.6 million.
Right. You're aiming to set 4 again.
Shooting forward. 4 is the goal. Hard to have a little retracement there, but
yeah,
four's surprisingly the goal.
That's
the achievable goal.
Yeah.
So yeah,
there's not a lot of guys that get to that level, so you should definitely be proud of that.
Thank you. Yeah.
I want to get into your process, but before we do that, I love learning people's personal stories. I think there's just so much to learn from those. So how did you get into this industry? Let's maybe start after high school. What'd you do right away?
I mean, actually, even in high school, took a welding class. That's what kind of got me going on the whole welding and enjoying that at a college that was doing high school credits.
Mm-hmm.
That led into well, I've got 2 older sisters that went to universities. That wasn't my path. I wanted to join the military. So join the military. What can I do in the military as a job that would involve welding or mechanical? That's a lot of history there, working on cars and just anything mechanical always interested me. And so joined the Air Force, did 4 years in the Air Force as a aerospace ground equipment technician.
Okay.
So, air conditioners, portable heaters, portable air conditioners, generation for the C-17s.
Mm-hmm.
So 3-4 years of, I say 3.5 years, got out for good behavior, so.
You didn't want to be a lifer?
Didn't want to be a lifer, gave it thought, but signed a 4-year.
Yeah.
And ended up early out, got below the zone, senior airman, ended up getting out early because there were jobs that were willing to hire me just outside locally, there in Seattle area, as an HVAC technician that were paying well. I mean, at that time, almost 20 years ago, it was $18 an hour was good for a service technician. I was like, all right, let's do it. I can live off of that. It's more money than I was making in the military.
Right.
So got out and immediately I don't think I even had a week between exiting the Air Force and starting in the residential trade, and had my EPA certification from the Air Force, got an associate's degree while I was in. Enjoyed my time. I mean, there's a lot of learning and developing and going from 18-year-old kid to 21, 22-year-old getting out, as an adult.
Right.
And now we got to figure out life. So, got out of the Air Force and worked for a company just outside Seattle, and just immediately picked up that being in people's homes and working on equipment that eventually I became comfortable with was my forte. I rode with the foreman that was there. His name was Josh, and rode with him, picked up a lot of key pieces, which I think the trajectory of my service was just picking up and learning from experienced people that would share with me how they do their process.
Right.
Obviously getting down the trade of how to actually fix stuff, right? Actually perform the repair, perform the maintenance. And then I got a taste of, the sales side, right? We can sell IAQ, we can sell air scrubbers, and there's a little bit of commission involved there. Like, so
bad.
Now the pitch starts going towards maintenance and, discussing IAQ and installing it. And, I think that's baby step number 1 for a service technician to not only go in and do your job, do your maintenance, do your repair, but then use your mouth, use what you've been given to earn their further business.
Right.
And, just from that point forward, started, kind of watching the sales guys, seeing what they sold, and then transitioned the company from one where I started to another much larger company in Seattle, and more on the sales technician side. It wasn't a sales position, but it was, hey, if you get into the right scenario where they might need a furnace or they want to add AC, we trust you enough to share some pricing with you, and if customer goes. So again, just another step towards eventual sales position. So After a year and a half, 2 years there, and that was Brennan Heating and Air Conditioning, which learned a lot. Just there was more of a you're a technician here, but at that company we ran line sets, so a lot of homes in Seattle weren't built with AC.
Right.
So if we're there on a service call and the heat's out, well, okay, it's time to replace the furnace. Now's the appropriate time to add air conditioning. Are you interested in that? Like, air conditioning, what a modern thing to have, right? Like, yes, how much?
Right.
And the question of how much, now that's a sales call.
Yeah.
So did really well with that, to the point where, starting to piss off the sales guys because, right? They're like, hey, you need to
give those opportunities.
Yeah, you need to flip that call, and
right.
Eventually it just came to the point where I'm sitting on the sales team with them, and we've, a sales guy's left. Jeff, we need you to run a call. You're out there across the water, across the bridge on the peninsula, outside the Tacoma Narrows Bridge there. And once you're over there, you're so far away from civilization that, hey, while you're over there, run this sales call.
Okay.
And it was just falling into that position and doing well at it.
You had a steady evolution.
Yeah. It's been, it feels like it was just yesterday when I was there.
Right.
But I mean, I remember every piece of that puzzle of how I've gotten to where I am now. And it's like, well, shoot, another 20 years, I'll look back and not expect the next change,
right?
But be willing to have it.
Sure.
Be willing to support changes.
Which
there's been a lot of changes, in the last few months with things, and just kind of taking a deep breath and just trusting the process and going forward with, and trusting the team above me is always key.
Yeah.
And we can get into that conversation too, but that's, so
Seattle, and you ended up in Southern California.
Yep. Seattle. And then we got tired of the rain up there for 11 years. We were there.
Pretty, and I needs a lot.
Yeah. We had 2 daughters. So I was like, we were stuck in the house, and the rain is like, okay, well, it's time to move. So I was born and raised in California. So we were actually debating between, Texas, where we are now, and California. We decided to go to California.
Yeah.
Go back to the beaches and the mountains and enjoy. So we were there for, bought a house and built our family, and worked for actually one of the Costco vendors there, which I was a Costco vendor. Brennan was a Costco vendor. So that was kind of key in following that same process and taking that success from Seattle to California, which again, doors were open. The second I sent my resume out, I'd get a response within a day or two. Hey, we want to have you in. We want to talk with you. We see your success. We see your numbers.
Right.
And I always came to an interview prepared to prove numbers. You shake a hand and you trust, but where's the proof? Here's the proof. Here's the closure rate. Here's the amount of calls. Here's the numbers, the revenue. Just being prepared, just like going to a call. Being prepared is key, and it's not like it's it's a sexy thing to do, or it's just, you just follow the process and be prepared.
Right.
Preparation is everything.
Absolutely.
So I worked for a California company, actually went to 2 companies there.
Yeah.
There was a transition there away from Costco. So went to a different company, which ended up getting acquired. And again, these changes come, but you just got to roll with them. Found success there. Annually, it was 2.5 to 3 million. I don't think I ever broke 3 million in California, but it was very close. 2.5, 2.8.
Mm-hmm.
We were there for 6 years. And then the pandemic hit, right? And our kids are in school, and now they're not. They're at home. They're on screens, and there was a lot of lockdown process that was something that was necessary there. And so we're like, well, maybe now's a good time for more change. So my wife's got a lot of family here in Texas, and Texas has always been on our radar.
Right.
Bigger homes and just a better living environment, influential environment for our kids to raise our children in.
Yeah.
So we pulled the trigger. We came to Texas. We built a home, and I still remain committed to California. I actually lived in a friend's pool house for 6 months while we were building here at a family, and was here.
Yeah.
And during that time, that 6 months was, okay, I need to look. I know I'm coming to Dallas.
Right.
Who am I going to work for?
Sure.
And took a lead from a person that was going the other direction, coming from Dallas, going to Service Champions.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And took his lead for a company. Didn't work out. It was a different process that is what I would say a normal process, or what I'm comfortable with. So sent my resume over to Rescue Air, and within a week or two heard back, and this is where the transition went from comfort advisor in California, sales tech and comfort advisor in Seattle, CA only in California, where, okay, now I've sent my resume to Rescue Air, and Rescue Air is, well, we don't have comfort advisor positions, we have sales technicians role. Like, again, rolling with the punches and rolling with the changes. So let's do this. I haven't forgotten how to fix things. And so again, just taking a deep breath and sitting back and saying, I can do this, right? Yeah. And sure enough, the first year at Rescue Air, $4 million. Yeah. Just following a process, learning from the others, how the other sales techs were doing it, and seeing how you can eliminate a customer going to market. They've already chosen Rescue Air. Yeah. They just need the right person in front of them to guide them properly. Sure. Right.
Let me ask you real quick. How did you decide? I mean, there's a lot of big contractors. Yeah. And Rescue's big, but there's a lot of big ones. So how did you decide on Rescue?
So I found success in looking for that model. Okay. Elsewhere, right? In California, I wanted that.
So you asked around, and
asked around, and I found that the $8 to $10 to $12 million revenue per year is where I would find success, where there's enough trust and enough freedom in that representative that goes out in that sales tech or in the CA to, hey, we've only got a select number of calls per day. These are the good ones. Let's send our best guy to it. Yeah. And it's not just a monster machine that, you fall into a number, right? You fall into a position. Right. And it's got its pros and cons, right? Having a flood of calls on the big companies, of course, that's an advantage. But I found success in this model, and that's where I'm comfortable, and that's where I wanted to remain. So, in searching for a company, and I searched for a few of the larger ones, and outside. Rescue Air was also geographically close to where I live. Sure. Right. So, and I see them on the side of the freeway, like, hey, beautiful
brand in here,
beautiful brand, and it is. Yeah. So met with Rescue Air, Josh and Moen.
I was going to ask. So, what was the interview process like? So here you go. You go. Here's my track record. They're like, we want to bring you in.
Yeah. So of course, Californian coming to Texas. That's our first conversation, right? Great. Another Californian coming to Texas, right? But they, we hit it off right off the bat, right? We agreed on a lot of things on how to do the process and what to do in someone's home, and just trust on both sides.
They were both successful salespeople,
right? Yeah, yeah, and I think that's key. Is they've been in my position. They know what it's like to be in this position, and I'm in need. They're in need, right? This is a win-win, right? So and what do we have to lose? If you trust me, I trust you. Let's go for it.
Yeah.
And the first month or two, I'm doing ride along.
I'm going to ask you what your onboarding was like.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so to finish off the interview, Mike and Josh and the sales manager at the time, we hit it off right off the bat, right? It's just like, this feels like home. It feels comfortable. And later on that day, I got the offer letter saying, hey, we'd love to have you join our team. And I'm ecstatic, like, all right, cool. Well, so let's do it. Let's get to work, right? So. But this is new for me, right? I'm going to fall into this sales technician role where it's like, I need to dust off my tools. Do I need an oxyacetylene tank? Do I need a vacuum pump? Do I need to load up a truck? So I'm thinking, shoot, I'll have to go spend some money on some more tools, and get some monitoring because I'm a little rusty. Yeah. And there was reassurance that, hey, we're not going to throw you to the fire. And there's a lot of trust. I'm like, okay, please don't, because I'm gonna screw it up, Sure. But when I've seemed to just learn the most is on your screw ups, on your failures. You learn from that stuff, and getting slapped on the wrist. There's nothing better, in my opinion, for me how to learn. From doing it. So onboard process was a bit scary at first. Sure. What do I wear?
Right.
I'm used to nice shoes and Dockers and button down shirts. Like, what do I wear? Okay, well. All right, so let's get some technician, pants and boots and dress properly for the job. And from that point forward, rode with some really good people, and good people that are by my side today as not only coworkers but friends, longtime friends. Yeah. Picked up their nuggets from what they have to say and how they do the process of, we're here to do maintenance, and the key point is you got to do your job. What are you here to do? Your maintenance. Okay, so come in and do maintenance first. Sometimes you got to wash it to sell it. Yeah. Yeah. So, and all the IAQ things obviously are on point, but we're going to aged calls. We're going to equipment that we know on history that it's likely time to have a conversation about replacement.
Yeah.
And a lot of people get off put by that, getting right to it, but maybe you shouldn't get to it that quick. Maybe you should wash it. Maybe you should prove your value and get your rain boots on, get dirty and get in the mud and wash the units and take them apart and, flush the drains, bring the nitro tank up to the attic. And by doing that, you're proving your value to that customer, because whether they're sitting there hawk-eyeing you or they're not, they are. If they've got cameras or, wherever, they're watching you. I know when someone's on my property, I'm watching them. I know exactly what's happening. And we're going through a project in our backyard at the moment, and I know where they park. I know where they wipe their boots. Sometimes on my truck. And I'm like, hey, I'm taking pictures, and I know the kind of work they're doing, and it's hard for a person of my personality to stay out of the way and let them do it, even if it's not right, because I know they're going to make it right. But, anyways, just kind of seeing it from a different perspective of, if I've got people on my property, I'm watching them. So, there's no difference in if I'm on someone's property, they're watching, and the process of where you park and how, there's a process to follow, and it's extremely detailed.
Let's dig into that.
Support for this podcast comes from Synchrony. Ever wonder how to calculate your true cost of financing and how to fit the price of financing into your business and pricing for products and services? In Synchrony's new and improved Toolbox website, you can easily calculate your cost of credit, view educational videos, and learn more about Synchrony's digital tools. Simply go to toolbox.syf.com to explore and learn more. And Staples. Staples is the leading provider in office supplies, offering a vast selection of products and services. Over the last 2 years, Staples has also become one of the largest janitorial suppliers in the U.S. as well. From your everyday business essentials to your office furniture, printing, facilities, and break room, Staples can do it all. Staples offers benefits to help create efficiencies in procurement and consolidate vendors to streamline internal processes. Visit staplesadvantage.com to learn more.
Let's start with how you get dispatched. So let's say you went to a call and you tried to close something, and this person just wasn't having it. Right? It's real easy to go. Get down on yourself, right? And then you get dispatched to another call, and you're like, I've got to be mentally prepared for that, right? So how do you reset? How do you get your mind right to get to that next time?
Reset after a no close or something? Very simple. You just get to the next call, right? So our process is heavily detailed. Before we get there, everything is detailed. Do I have anything in my teeth? Do I need to look at myself physically in the mirror, make sure, do I smell good, look good?
Right.
Is the truck clean? That's our billboard, our rolling billboard, where I park the truck. So, but step one, customer service reps, the CSRs will reach out to the homeowner. Hey, we've got, Jeff's technician ready to head your way. I'll be there in 30 to 45 minutes. That's great. And they get dispatched a bio, a picture of me, a short, sharing that I'm ex-military, been in the trade for X amount of years, have 2 daughters, and I forget what the actual bio says. It's been a while, but they get a short bio that builds value, builds trust.
Right.
They see who's coming. I will definitely. So we have service titans, so we'll get dispatched on the iPad, and I immediately start looking through the history. First of all, where am I going? Is it Dallas? Is it McKinney? Where am I going? How long is my drive? How long is it going to take me to get there? Prepare mentally for that drive time. Dig into the call. So we rely a lot on history.
Right? Yeah.
What did the last technician say? Was it a sales tech that went last time? Did they get pitched a system, or was it just a standard technician? Was it just a repair? Duct cleaning estimates. What kind of calls have they been through the process with us?
Right.
If it's a maintenance call, it's a little more critiqued than a free estimate. A free estimate is, hey, we're reaching out to your company. We'd like an estimate for a new system.
Sure.
But maintenance, the history is key. Did we add leak seal last time we were there? Did we find a leak? Did we do any repairs last time? How much did they spend last time we were here, or the last year? Because everything comes into key when we're presenting a system, and what credits could be taking place, and what warranties we've had, and just being fully prepared for that call. So kind of digging into the history.
Mm-hmm.
I'll get on my way en route to the customer. Always call. Try to. Try to. Sometimes I miss the boat on that one, but calling is key. But actually, before the call, let me take a step back. we have the ability, the privilege in ServiceTitan to listen to the phone call.
Right.
And that's key, and as frustrating and as time consuming that can be sometimes, listen to the call, because you can pick up their personality on the phone. You can pick up if they're a red, they're hot because the CSR was a bit slow in taking their information or had to have them repeat something, and which is good. On this end, I can see how they deal with conflict and deal with being frustrated. Are they a red personality where they want to get to the point? They want to give you their information and they want to know what time you can be there. Right. We operate on an open window. There's a quick way to explain how we operate on an open window. But if you don't get that process down, it frustrates a red personality. Like, what do you mean? You're going to give me a window, or what time are you going to be here? Like, I don't understand this open window. You got to be able to explain that quickly. So listen to that call. And there's a lot of grace and forgiveness. I haven't had one customer say, I hated that person on the phone. Like, that just doesn't happen. Right. So, but I'm thinking this is fresh. They might have called in earlier in the day. I'm 10 minutes from their house. I've just listened to a frustrated phone call. So taking that in, absorbing that and kind of seeing how you can work with what they've said, pick up the nuggets on the phone call. Pick up the key reason why you're going there. And if it's a demand call, no cool in the middle of summer, it's pretty clear the AC is not working. Or I've got water on my ceiling, I've got water leaking, well, we know it's aged equipment, that rusted out old coil is probably plugging up the drain, we're going to have a conversation. So preparing mentally for what we could get into as a sales technician. Right. But, I never walk in with my price book on a call like that. Okay. So I'll get to that. But, where you park is key. Texas, I've been through a few states. Texas, people park on the other side. That's wrong for me. I mean, I've got to park on the right side with passenger side against the curb. Yeah. That's just a pet peeve of mine. And I know it's got to be someone else's pet peeve. Sure. So as long as I'm parking on the right side, we're good. Yeah. So, and I don't drive past the house and do a flip a U and come back. I figure out how to, meticulously get to that house. So I pull in on the right side. Okay. Pulling on the right side, the truck is clean. I hit arrive on ServiceTitan. We've got Rilla app. If that's part of the call, we turn Rilla on, which is important. Sure. Where we're recording the conversation. We're recording so we can refer back to things if we need to. Yeah.
Real quick, let me interject. What was that like? Getting that, hey, they're listening to me.
Getting Rilla, it's again rolling with those changes. Yeah. Right. So initially, it's uncomfortable. Imagine how police feel when they first had body cams. Sure. Like, you're gonna record everything I do all day. Yeah. You got to get past it, right? I mean, it's just where is our trade going to? We're going to CYA. Covering your own butt here. That key piece is a protection for our company. Yeah. And we've just got to mentally get over that. And that's just something we got to do.
Has it been beneficial at all? Be able to listen? There's certain metrics. I don't know a lot of it, but I know there's metrics that come from it.
There's benefits, kind of like teaching an old dog new tricks. How much can you teach someone who's been in the trade for 20, 30? Well, of course, you got to be open to learn. Right. And it's perfecting. It's getting better. And it's amazing, that a phone in my pocket can record every single word I say and the customer says, and script it and have it done within 30 minutes of being done in the call. Yeah. I've not found the scenario to come back to play or see, refer back to anything in that. But there's scenarios where, we're getting a lawsuit. If we refer back to, just like CSRs are recorded on the phone, well, now we've got a script to refer back to. So, there's value there for a company. And if you're a representative of that company that's part of that, you need to do it, right? So initially it was tough. Tough, right? It's uncomfortable. It's like, it's like being interviewed or being in front of a group of, yeah. I mean, you turn it off. And the trust for the rep in the field using that is, you need to trust your owners and your managers that they're going to protect your privacy. And, you say something wrong or you say something off, not politically correct or something. Again, Mike and Josh have been in my position before. They've been there. They've said those wrong things. They've heard those, so what do you have to lose? You're protecting your company. And if that's something that your company's part of, absolutely.
That's right.
So
anyways, didn't mean that.
No, I know.
It's interesting.
It is interesting. And it's kind of the wave of the future. And to see that script come up on an app, every single word I've said, and it's not always accurate, but it summarizes, So anyways, that was a hurdle to begin with. Some don't care for that. If you're a team player and you're a company man, you know, then that's what your company wants, and you do it, and you're comfortable. Okay, so we're there.
Yeah.
Yep. So again, arrive on Service Titan, turning our Rilla on, and new shoe covers in my back pocket. And on a service call, of course, I'm coming in with, impact wrench, my tool bag. I'm coming in, not too many tools, because you don't want to come in, just as a repair guy. You want to be using what you've, use your voice, you talk first.
Sure.
You come with too many tools, you're distracted with your tools. So come to the door, shoe covers in pocket, knock on the door, even down to, kind of turning sideways. When you knock on a door, you turn sideways so it's not intimidating. You never know who's going to answer the door.
Right.
Or you ring the doorbell. Everyone wants their Ring camera ring. They don't want knocking.
Right.
But we're getting down into the weeds now.
No, that's all right.
Yeah, and the weeds are good at the door, because that's really where I think you get a lot of judgment. You get,
Rushing.
so parking the truck in front so they can see it's rescuer. I've got my name badge on. They can see it's Jeff. They've got a picture of me. Knock on the door, stand sideways, and they, the meet and greet. Right?
Yeah.
They open the door. The whole pandemic, we got away from shaking hands.
Right.
Get back to it. Everyone wants to shake hands, and if they don't, they'll fist bump you,
Right.
But get back to shaking hands.
Yeah.
It builds rapport and builds trust.
Mm-hmm.
Just that physical connection. Like, hey, good morning. My name's Jeff. I'm here to do a maintenance today for you on your 2 air conditioners.
Yeah.
Okay, if I come in, always asking permission to come in, right? And whoever it is, the husband, the wife, if it's under 18, if it's a kid that answers the door, hey, is your mom or dad available? Yeah, of course. And that happens all the time.
Yeah.
Never should you ever walk in a home if a kiddo,
right.
Come on, like, follow the rules, right?
Right.
The unwritten rules.
Yeah.
So okay to come in, meet and greet. And, the questions at the door are different based on what type of call it is.
Mm-hmm.
But being consistent with those questions is good. So
Yeah.
let's say it's a demand call. I understand your AC's not working. Tell me what's going on.
I can see your body language too. You're like, oh, I know this is a frustration.
Yeah, of course. Hey, I just want we're here to help you. And that's truly that's the genuine goal, is we're here to help you.
Right.
And if helping means talking about a new system and buying a new system, then I'm helping them.
Right.
Or fixing it. We have the option to always fix.
Yes, for sure.
If it's a maintenance, it's a little bit slow down, more questions, more rapport, more talking at the front door.
Yeah.
Meeting the dogs, telling them you're a dog person. Oh, let them crawl all over me. Like, we're good. Even if it's a cat, if you're not a cat person, just let them.
Right.
Just build the rapport with them.
Right. Do you have certain questions in the back pocket you like to bring up to get that rapport going? Because some people are quiet.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of times I let them take the lead. If we've been there every 6 months for the last 4 years, they've had this meet and greet at the front door. It's a little different for everyone.
Sure.
But sometimes they're on a conference call. A lot of people working from home still.
Right.
So kind of read the room, read their body language. Are they like opening the door like it's upstairs, go ahead and go?
Yeah.
And if that's the case, then you kind of stand there awkwardly and wait for them to get off the phone.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you just stand there and wait, and eventually they have to see this man standing in the front porch and, oh, sorry about that. I was on the phone. Thanks for coming, and, okay, yeah, no problem. But here to do AC maintenance and usually go through how long is it going to take, or even a heat check. Heat checks are pretty quick calls. They're more of making sure, of course, the furnace is functional and safe, but it's more of a check-in on your customer as well. Like, yeah, I'm here to make sure you continue to do business with our company. Everything's looking great today, or we need an igniter or a flame sensor or so on and so forth. Change your filters for you. Do you have them up in the attic? Or, we've got some on the truck. We can offer those. But always best to, someone order them on Amazon, have them ready for us when we're here. So they're in preparation for us to come. Sometimes filters are at the door. They know, hey, they're going to ask for the filter before they go up so we can change it out for them. So maintenance questions are different from demand questions. Demand questions are, I'm sorry you're having this problem. Here to help. Tell me what's going on.
Right.
Lead me in the house. I let the customer lead me.
Okay.
So I don't want to walk ahead of them. I want them to lead me.
Right.
And as they're leading me to wherever the thermostat or the attic or the outdoor unit, pick up what you see. You see a sweet mountain bike, talk about it. Like, man, sweet, or dirt bike or motorcycle or sweet car or truck, pick it up. That's your chance to pick up. If there's nothing, when is there nothing? But if there's nothing, then okay, we're an AC guy. We're going to talk AC, but fall back onto AC conversation.
Sure.
Initial conversation is pick up what you see.
Yeah.
Guitars on the wall. I ride with Joe a lot. I know Joe.
Mm-hmm.
Constantly picking up guitars. I mean, he'll ask to pick up someone's guitar and start playing. Like, how many technicians, go walk through the front door and pick up the homeowner's guitar and start playing something.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, man, this guy's got it figured out. So, I picked up a lot of that from Joe, too. So, a lot of credit for Joe.
Yeah, that's cool.
Pictures on the wall or just the beautiful backyard of the pool.
Right.
I'm like, man, how'd your pool do during the last freeze? Because mine froze and we've got problems,
Yeah.
And that could lead into, plumbing issues. Like, it froze. Man, yeah, I mean, we also have a plumbing department. I'll be looking, so just to share that with you, we're going to be looking at the whole house today. I'm going to look at your hot water heaters. We've got a plumbing department that we also look at that stuff too. Any issues there, just those prying questions up front to get the other department, because we're not only salespeople for AC side. We sell water products, which I'd love to get better at it.
Yeah.
But you start with the questions, right? So hot water heaters, pretty simple stuff. Converting to tankless, and a lot of tankless questions come up during that conversation. I mean, who knows where the conversation goes? You're there for no cool. We're going to eventually talk about replacing the equipment, but hey, we've got a specific deal on getting those two. Why does Texas do hot water heaters in the attic?
Like everything's.
What are we doing here? So and that's for me. The water heaters in Seattle and in LA, they're all in the garage or in some closet out where it doesn't matter if it leaks. But Texas, we put 100 gallons of hot water above the master bedroom.
Yeah.
So get up there and look at that, and a lot of people will agree with that. And there's been an influx of people into the Dallas area that's not normal to have those water heaters. So if you can address that up front and joke about it like we are,
sure.
Shoot, they might just want to convert away and get into a tankless unit, right?
All these questions. That's all.
Questions at the door,
Yeah,
right? And that could be maintenance questions. And as a sales technician, from being spoiled as a CA prior and then going back into the sales technician role, I got comfortable as a CA and a sales technician. You're going to grind all day. You're going to get hot. You're going to sweat. You're going to have to use your tools, and you got to be mindful that you're going to do maintenance,
right?
And
I want to jump into that because all the great companies, they do their tune-ups a very certain way, because it's a bit of a performance art, like you alluded to earlier,
right?
So kind of just share what your whole tune-up process is and how it differentiates maybe from the guys that just come in, they're cranking out 50 a day or whatever,
Yeah, so we try not to flood ourselves with maintenance because it does tax your body. And the Texas heat, man, we try to get our maintenances done in the morning. But how do you get maintenances done in the morning when you've got demand calls in the morning from the prior day?
Right.
So that's a tough thing it's a lot of try not to reschedule calls, but inevitably that sometimes happens.
Yeah. Or
we got to run those maintenances late in the day, which is tough. You've had a hot, long, tough day, and you've got some sales. You got some mojo for the day.
Yeah.
And 5 o'clock, we got a 2-system maintenance for you.
Yeah.
Okay, so you got to be mindful for it. How do we do a maintenance? After the meet and greet, you tell the customer what you're going to do. If it's an AC maintenance, which is way more detailed, it's breaking down the outdoor unit for us, for our team, breaking down the outdoor unit, taking the panels off, washing it from the inside out, get the leaves out, and take pictures. You don't want to do all this work and not share the proof. So take pictures before. Look at the plug coil. If it's variable speed equipment, it's going to be plugged. So we pull the top off, and you got to do it carefully. You got to know what you're doing. You got to pull the wires off the cap carefully, or you're going to be doing repairs, on your own dime.
Yeah.
So pull the wire, take the top off, pull the panels off. If it's a Train unit, it breaks down a little different than a Lennox unit. Knowing how to break them down to get better access. Bring in a 100-foot hose so you don't have to use the homeowners. Bring in the right nozzle so it's going to make it easier on you rather than using the cheapy Walmart one that they've got, right? So being prepared, breaking down the outdoor unit is key.
Yeah.
And I wish that our younger technicians would understand that we're not asking you to break it down and break your back. We're asking you to build value with the homeowner. so that when next time we come, and by the way, next time when we come, if you've done that, it's not nearly as bad. And if we all are on the same page doing that, then we don't have anything to complain about because it's been done multiple times. It's not bad.
Right.
And sometimes the weather's bad, right? You're in the sun. Bring an umbrella, bring an easy up, bring something. Or if it's raining, bring your rain jacket. I've got rain boots in the truck, knee-high rain boots, because if anyone's gotten Texas mud on their boot, on their regular Nikes, they're done.
Yeah.
You're not getting them off. You're not getting it off. So bring rain boots, throw them in the back of the truck when you're done in. And what are we doing here? The customer sees all this, sees all the value that you're proving, because, a joke that Joe and I have is sometimes we got to wash the unit to sell it, right? So wash the unit. We've had windows cracked so the homeowners can hear on the inside of the house what we're talking about on the outside.
Oh,
So we got to watch what we're saying. Sure, it's not the locker room, right?
Yeah.
We've got to be PC outside washing the units because they're watching, they're seeing. And we've had multiple customers come out and say, wow, no one's ever broken down that unit before.
Right.
I mean, what does that do with the customer? And we trust these guys. These guys are doing it. And we're not charging for it. We're not charging extra. They're paying our monthly subscription to be part of our family plan. This thing's dirty. It's time.
Yeah.
And we're looking at the older ones.
Right.
So 10-plus-year-old stuff. Sometimes you got to be careful taking them apart because they don't always go back the same way.
Sure.
So carefully doing a maintenance, washing out. Take before and after pictures. Okay,
Right.
We've done that. Now we're gauged up, and we've got the AC running. We flip the breakers back on. Now we go up into the attic and see how we're looking up there. Oh, well, now we're condensing heavily. We've got drains that are backing up. We don't have any flow protection here. We've got growth in the plenum. We always open the coil, right? Why do we open the coil? Because there's money in there.
Yeah.
That's why we open the coil.
Right.
If you don't open the coil, if there's straps in front of the way and it's just a pain in the butt, you're leaving money on the table. Open the coil. Get a $100 flashlight and shine your brightest light in there. What are you going to find? You're going to find everything that the last guy didn't find.
Right.
Take pictures. If it's bad enough, if we got a rusted out coil, that's the time we stop our maintenance and we'll go down, we'll go down and grab the customer. Hey, you got a minute? And I'm prepared with pictures to show. If he doesn't want to leave, if he doesn't want to come up, I'm prepared. We use Apple products, so we can do the drop. We can take pictures on our phone deep in the plenum. We can drop it on the iPad and show right there. Hand the customer the iPad if he doesn't want to come up.
Yeah.
If he's coming up, that's key.
Yeah.
Because now you've set the stage, right? Now it's time to perform.
Yeah.
You got him up in the attic on the catwalk, uncomfortable. It's hot. I'm showing him the rusted out old coil, plenum, full of growth, problems with the furnace, leaking oil blower. I mean, all the particulars. We've made a list here mentally of we haven't written it all out. We're just show and tell right now.
Yeah. What do you say about that? Because if you're not technical, you don't know what any of that stuff means. So how do you explain what all this stuff does?
Just put it in layman's terms.
Okay.
Hey, there's one main problem I want to bring you up into the attic to show. This coil is rusted out as an old boat anchor. Use your metaphors with how old boat anchor is probably pretty rusted. That's your coil.
Right.
And it's full of growth. We don't say the M word. We can't say mold because we didn't test for it.
Right.
So again, CYA, you can't say the words, right? But biological growth, growth is everywhere in your system.
Yeah.
That stuff is settled. Your air is passing through this old rusted out old coil. Flakes are coming off of it. It's plugging up the drain. We did a really good job outside washing the unit, which is part of it, but there's not much we can do here on this coil.
Yeah.
And it's over its expected lifespan. We might be, I just wanted to share all this with you, and you just kind of start hinting towards, we might want to look at some solutions here to this to get ahead of, what's the point of a maintenance? To get ahead of trouble, right? And get ahead of things that might cause because we all forget how uncomfortable it is, but how many times has a service technician been in someone's home and it's 90 degrees in their home and they don't have AC, and what do we do next?
Right.
Now you're in an impulsive, I have to do this out of obligation to be comfortable and live here any longer.
Right.
So paint the picture, not a scare tactic.
No,
and
you're educating.
Yeah. And to sell on fear is the wrong way.
Yeah.
And you have to realize when you're doing that, because you can fall into the fear cell very quickly. But
Right.
So anyway, show the coil. The coil is usually the issue, right?
Yeah.
Have professional tools. You can get a leak detector on Amazon for $20.
Right.
You think a customer knows that? If he sees your Toys R Us leak detector, he can. So have professional tools. I've got a $500 leak detector. bring it up. I'm not going to charge. Yes, we have a level 1, charge for electronic leak detection, but we're going to do this as part of our maintenance. Thank you for being part of our plan. This is part of it.
Yeah.
Right. I want you to know that we're sensing a bit of refrigerant here.
Yeah.
And we've got a track history of putting refrigerant in this system. Where's it coming? I mean, 9 times out of 10, I can't pinpoint it at the moment, but we're getting hit on this backside, or as rusted out as it is, it's likely here.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I just wanted to share that with you, sir. We're going to put it all back together. It's running. We're not breaking it.
Right.
We're just painting the picture of how bad it could be if we don't do anything about it. So, usually we'll let the customers, voice their opinion when they're up there.
Right. I was
go with that.
About that. Right.
Yeah. So they'll voice it. Yeah, that's pretty bad. Or yeah, the last guy showed me that too. Or the last guy left an estimate. We should probably look at that again. Do you think you can give us? Absolutely. And that from that point forward, now we're on a sales call.
Okay.
Right. So the maintenance has just flipped to a sales call. Now we're going to talk equipment. I mean, if we sell a coil, that's a sale.
Mm-hmm.
Do we want to sell one piece? No. We are rewarded for rewarded in compensation to sell the complete system.
Sure.
That's what we want as a company.
Yeah.
So from that point forward, put everything back together. It's running, it's functional, finish our maintenance, we fill out our paperwork, and by that time, usually the customer has asked, can we review? Absolutely. We're going to finish up our maintenance. I'll grab the price books in the truck, and it'll come back in. And now we come back in as a salesman.
Yeah.
Right? We're coming in as a closer, right? Because now we've shared, there's an issue, which option A, immediate repair, is always an option.
Right.
Always an option. Yes, we can replace the coil. We can add more leak sealant. We can add more charge. It's $2,300 to do this option. Wouldn't recommend it. At this age on this equipment, wouldn't recommend it. Asking the right questions of how long do you intend to be here?
I was going to ask, when you start bringing up questions, does that when you come back in?
We come back in, yeah. So now I've taken my tools out.
Yep.
Right? The tools are in the truck. Now I come in with a price book and the iPad.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And now it's a sales call, converting a maintenance to a sales call.
Which sit down, or you? Most of these people stand up. Okay, I like to sit down.
So first question is, hey, does anyone else need to be part of this conversation? Because there's significant costs here, and is your husband available, or is your wife? Does she want to be part of this? Or just make. Obviously, we're in front of owners of this, so we already know there's one owner. If it's one-legged, let's get the other leg in,
right?
Because we don't want him coming home to it's $15,000.
Yeah.
So try to get him either on the phone or and a lot of times, the wife is home with the kids. Yeah, let me call my husband and we'll get him on speaker.
Yeah.
Hey, Rescue Air is here. They were doing the maintenance. They found all these. Is there a better time that you want to have this conversation? Because there's some significant repair costs here, potentially replacement conversation that I'd like for you to be part of.
Right.
And I would like that, right? If I was working and my wife was home and someone's there, like, hey, do you want to be part of this before we get into this, rabbit hole of questions and answers and pricing? I'd love for you to be part of this. So sometimes the sale will pause there.
Okay.
Yes, I do want to be part of that. Can you come back at 5:00 tonight when I get home? Or what time do you get home? What time do you do dinner? We don't have any set hours.
Right.
The set hours is when they're available. Which, that's tough on the family personally, but
sure.
You got to chase the sale. Right?
Yeah, so summer especially, right?
Especially, yep. So now if he's there, right, so we continue with, I would continue with the sales process if he's there, right? So, all right, have you ever been through this process before? He understands or they understand that the coil's toast and we potentially have a refrigerant leak or whatever the issue is, the compressor's mega ohming out on weak, we got weak windings, because on a maintenance, we're digging,
right?
We're digging for what could potentially fail that we can get ahead of with replacement or suggestions.
Right.
So they're past option A. Now, Jeff, I don't want to fix it.
Yeah.
How much to just replace it? Well, good question. Can I replace just the coil? You can. We'll give up a lot of benefits by just replacing the coil. The plenums aren't included, the hung rat, the entire protocol that we follow when we do a complete system is completely missed because we're just picking
one issue.
Yeah, just doing one piece at a time. So let's say we're past that conversation and they're on board to replace.
Yeah.
So now we're replacing. Now it's give some education.
Yeah.
Have you been through this before? Ask questions. Have you been through this process? Have you bought an air conditioner before?
Right.
And I want you to just put you at ease. There's a lot of incentives this time of year, no matter the time of year. This time of year, it's middle of summer. we've got next day free upgrade offers in the middle of, February when it's 65 degrees in Texas and nobody wants heating or cooling.
Right.
We've got financing incentive. We've got a free upgrade offer through Friday if installed. Today, we have a free upgrade offer from 1 level to level 2 if we're able to knock this out for you today.
Yeah.
If that works for you, great. If tomorrow's better, then so be it. Just being flexible with and being generous with the willingness to offer discounts and to earn their business, right? Like we'd love to earn your business. This is what, you've got a problem. We have a solution.
Sure.
And we've got a system for every budget, and if they want, how much is this going to cost me?
Sure.
If they want that quick number, they're a red, they want that number quick.
Yeah.
It depends on what you're choosing, 15 to 30K. Give them the big window and let them, you're breaking the ice, which is what on a flip, we're letting the technician break the ice. There was price conditioning happening. The sales technician is doing all the price conditioning and getting the close. So there's that extra obligation you have to not only break the ice, paint the picture, break the ice, close the deal.
Yeah.
So that's the initial break the ice. It's 15 to 30K for a complete system. Depending on what you choose, there's some incentives. Depending on how you pay for this job, there's incentives and further discounts. And I always have management in my pocket should we get to a conclusion or a deal today that likely, we're going to earn your business today, or we'll earn it in 6 months when you're ready, or a year from now. As long as we're doing, you continue to do business with our company, that's what we want. Right. So then give the education on the equipment, single speed, 2-speed, variable speed, the benefits of variable speed.
Yeah.
I don't know how much,
No,
you're talking to a technician, so you're going to get a lot of tech.
How about IAQ, too? Because you mentioned earlier, if you start seeing the growth, you're like, oh, yeah. Do you have anyone that suffers from allergy? Were you asking that up in the attic, I'm sure?
Yes. So if there's growth present, that is, you got to direct the call, right? So if we're leading to replacement, that's going to take priority over IAQ.
Certainly.
If we're not leading to replacement, then of course IAQ.
Yeah.
Opening the coil to find a beautiful aluminum non-rusted coil that's 7-8 years old. What do we do there? We find the growth if there is some. If there's not, the potential for it is there.
Yeah.
And it's not does anyone suffer, it's who suffers, right? And that's tough for me because I always want to question in a just a generic state, I guess.
Right.
But when you are asking who suffers from allergies, you're being more direct.
Right.
And they have to give you an answer like, my husband suffers sometimes, or, coughs all night long, or what.
Sure.
Well, we have a solution for something like that, and we get into the IAQ conversation. Right. If their filtration is poor, we look on the return side. We're shining lights, so we're seeing that we offer duct cleaning, of course, like detailed before and after pictures, an actual duct cleaning, not a $100 special, online, right? This is a professional service that we don't sub out, that our own team comes and does this. And those guys are good at selling too, man. We can sell duct cleaning on this side, and they'll sell twice as more IAQ than I would have, because they're in it, they're opening it up, and when the show and tell is everything. Yeah. So if you've got them in the attic, of course, but that is an accessory for our team, not the obligation.
So you don't build, but you'll build it though. If someone's like, I'd really struggle with asthma.
Of course, it's built. I'll share, and we've got the pamphlets in the truck of here's actual pictures of what it'll do, what it removes, kills COVID. Yeah. We use the Patriot, air scrubber, more like the APCO. So pretty simplistic design to explain what it is and what it does for a homeowner. Yeah. And if you're educating a customer and they're not ready to buy, you build the estimate and you send it to them.
Sure.
And hey, next time, what if the 2 last guys did that, and now I'm the third one here and I'm saying the same thing, and now you said it 3 times, it's time to buy it, the prices remain the same. There hasn't been gimmicks along the way. It's just we've made a recommendation. Consistency is key in recommending the IAQ. Sure. Because you're planting the seed, and not just IAQ, it's water filtration and it's the whole home. Yeah, absolutely. The notes, and that's so key. Mm-hmm. And having the right team members do and the equipment history, equipment age is so key. If there's these Texas homes, 4 or 5 systems, there's 15 pieces of equipment or 20 pieces of equipment in our Rolodex there in ServiceTitan on that on that call that
Right.
if that's not accurate, you're sending the wrong team members to that house. You know, if they're, hey, we swapped it, we did 3 systems here, they're all brand new, but they weren't accurate. Well, you're sending the wrong guy. So having the whole team for success is key. Having everyone do their job.
Sure.
So where were we? We're at
You have your options. What's the key differentiator other than, I mean, is it there are different guarantees on each level of option? What kind of sets them apart?
So 4 options always has been the success, right? Because rarely do people buy the top, rarely do people buy the bottom. So give them 2 options in the middle.
Right.
And incentive, so figuring out the decision makers, having them in front of you, and figuring out how they're going to pay, right? Do they need financing? Always offer financing up front, always. I mean, if I could have 0% for 5 years, why would I not want that offered to me up front? Because some people will jump at that.
Right.
And I have found great success in that. That financing plan costs us a fortune, right? The backside, it costs a fortune.
Yes.
So to offer that plan, you got to be careful, right? Our price book is positioned in a way that we can discount based on how they pay. Right. If they want 0 for 60, we have that built in.
Yeah.
If they don't, we need to back it out because we won't be competitive if we leave that on.
Right.
So those questions up front are more for catering, how they're figuring out how they're going to pay, because that's going to affect, if I'm not closing this today, it's going to affect leaving a competitive estimate or not.
Right.
So, oh, wow, you have 0 for 60, 0% for 5 years. That's unheard of in this economy.
Right.
You can't even get a car for less than 3-4%, right? A house mortgage 7%, but I can finance my air conditioner for 0. That's amazing. I'm like, yeah, it's a promotion we're running, and here's where you build your urgency, right? It's a promotion that our company is running through the end of this week. Yeah. It expires on Friday. It's Wednesday today. Give them the night, if they need to think on it. That, of course, we're chasing the close, right? And there's a second layer to this that will incentivize putting it in tomorrow. But if you need it until Friday, that offer, but there's an extra incentive here we'll get to. Yeah. So get through the options. Let's say they're a variable speed buyer, right? We have educated them through the single speed. The 2-speed is phasing out. It's kind of grandpa's upgrade from 30 years ago. Variable speed is the way to go. Yeah. You want to dehumidify in a humid environment. This is the right product for your home. There's a couple different levels within variable speed. They're a variable speed buyer. So here we go. There's your incentive, is to go from level 1 of variable speed to level 2. Hey, if this is something that you're thinking that you'd like to do tomorrow, let's say you are the buyer of the 0 for 60, we can give you a free upgrade. If we can earn your business today, and if, let's say, because sometimes we'll do the install same day. If we're on a maintenance, an aged maintenance, 9 a.m., we're wrapping up by 10, 11, we've got a sale, we have a yes, we have an approval, we have a credit approval. Our install manager, one of the best install managers I've ever worked with. I mean, John Wren, I got to give him some shout out because honestly, this is my 18th year in the trade. Yeah. That position is so key in a company, to have an install manager that is on fire with an approval and rallies his teams to come out and do it the same day. Yeah. That is so key because you know what? It closes the ability to change your mind. Right. For a customer to say, I was talking to my dad and he's saying I should get 2 more estimates. And sure, I mean, on the sales technician side, you have that customer locked in. Yeah. Don't let them go to market. Right. And our price is catered to that non-marketed customer. Right. Now, can we get to a competitive estimate? Of course we can. We can get to an extremely competitive estimate based on how they're paid. So let's say that customer is a variable speed buyer, not interested in the financing. Right. Okay, so I'm glad to hear that. Would you, a lot of customers put this on a credit card, get their Costco earnings or get their miles. Sure. Is that how you would pay for your job? Okay, great. Well, so in that position, we have a 5% discount or a 10% discount because you don't need that financing. Right. And they're like, great, sweet. I'm going to get my miles. You guys are going to do it tomorrow. Boom. Get the signature and close the deal. Right.
You bring up, I'm sure there's an additional discount on CAF.
Of course, if they ask, right?
So you won't bring that up necessarily.
Depends on if I know that they're going to close, let them pay how they want to pay. Okay. And leave the margin on the job. Okay. Try not to get to the discount conversation because it's hard to get away from it. Right. Once you get into that discount model, I mean, now they're like, maybe I get a better price somewhere else.
Yeah. Yeah.
So hey, let it be fun for them to give you the credit card.
Win.
Yeah, and a lot of times we've got the credit card on file already.
Right.
So is this just confirming the Visa ending in, is the right one to charge? Yep, that's the one. All right, great. So sign here. We'll be out here within the next hour. Our process is an install team will arrive typically within an hour. If we're doing this right. I mean, this has happened the last 2 days in a row. I've sold a job by like 11:30, 12 o'clock. Our team is on site within an hour demoing that equipment.
Yeah.
We've got a runner grabbing the equipment, coming with the new stuff. Knowing your game on rebates locally is, Encore rebates. Knowing your tax credits, not putting any tax credit information on a contract, but having the pamphlets and the information up front so a customer knows, well, shoot, if I buy a heat pump this year, I potentially have a $2,000 credit this year.
Right.
Or if we've got dual fuel setups, which is somewhat unusual for Dallas area, but with heat pump incentive coming, we're prepared for that.
Right.
We're ready for a heat pump, and being in Seattle, a lot of gas, like propane heat, oil heat.
Right.
How do we get away from that high cost gas and oil? Well, you add a heat pump. So I had a lot of history on the heat pump. So going dual fuel here, we can bring that knowledge to the table, and be the first cutting edge. So if we're buying an air conditioner and a furnace, well, let's swap that AC out for a heat pump, and now we've qualified for a $2,000 tax credit at the end of the year. And there's some stipulations, and knowing them is key, but not knowing every single detail is also key.
Yeah. So when is the time you bring up the heat pump, though? Is that if someone's really wincing in price and go, well, maybe we can do this as an additional?
Just conversation filler.
Okay.
I'm not pushing it at all.
Right.
But occasionally you'll get that engineer that, like, you're picking at something that they wanted more information on, and you're picking it up because you're the service professional that's been in the trade for 20 years that should know this stuff.
Yes.
So I'm ready for it. It's just proving your case that you're educated at this level, but we're buying at this level.
Right.
So know that there's minimal things that can go wrong at this level because we're so perfected here.
Right.
At this heat pump level, there's a few factors on tax credits, and this is cutting it. This is why we've built this package so that we can serve this need where it comes.
Right.
So knowing, incentives, we're a Lennox dealership, so knowing those rebates, knowing the incentive on the 0 for 60 or the different financing plan, how much does that charge the dealer?
Yeah.
Like, we need to know. So I Rescue Air, we've got a lot of freedom. I think probably we have all the information at our fingertips, all of it. None of it is private. We know the cost of the equipment. We don't share it, of course, with homeowner or anyone, but we know everything, which, given all the tools to the right people, these are sharpshooters, right?
Right.
Our sales team, we are so strong in what we know because we are given all the information.
Right.
Right. And we're trusted with that information. So got to be careful with all that information, but we're the front line of the company. If we're not successful, our company's not successful.
Right.
So figuring out how they're paying. Let's say they're a cash buyer and they want that discount. Okay, well, let's get right to it. If you're a cash buyer, sir, the discount for a cash or check is X, and that can be applied today. And all other incentives will still apply.
Yeah.
And they're like, wow, I can take 15% off my book price if I give you a check.
Yeah.
Yeah, and a lot of people are like excited to, like, shoot, I'll dust off my checkbook. I haven't written a check in years, right? But they're willing to write it. Yeah. So make it exciting for them to cut a check for 15 or 20 grand. And I can't tell you how many times people are excited to give me, $20,000, $25,000, $30,000 check. I mean, we've had a job that was over $100K.
Wow.
And just declined financing, so he had to write a check. But the money's out there. You just gotta go get it.
Gotta ask for it.
Yeah, you gotta ask for it. So, asking for the close on every call used to be something I had. I think as a comfort advisor, you get a little spoiled, right? Like, you're just giving one estimate after the next, and the companies, how much does a lead cost? $500, $1,000 a lead?
Yes.
And as a comfort advisor, all you see are leads, free estimates all day long. Where these leads are expensive, so you got to ask for the close. So I got comfortable not asking for the close, still closing, $2.5 million in California. But if I had learned what I know now about asking for the close in Texas, I would have asked for a whole lot more closes back in time. So
what you say?
Asking for the close. I mean, what would it take to earn your bid? If we're already at a point, what would it take to earn your business, or what do we need to do to earn your business today? Today is the day that you're going to buy an air conditioner. Nobody knows when they're going to buy an air conditioner unless you're a free estimate and you're getting, you're that guy that gets 10 estimates.
Sure.
But on the sales technician side, they don't know they're going to buy an air conditioner today. And it'll blow your mind how many people are willing to spend 15 to 30 grand on a maintenance, or on a demand call.
Mm-hmm.
Like, man, I knew that thing was old. I knew it was coming. It's like buying a car. The lady told me yesterday, she's like, I've got acid reflux after this, but I know we're making the right call.
Right.
Like, it's a lot of money.
It is.
And she was financing, so it's a little easier to tolerate. You're not cutting a check, you're not putting it on a credit card.
Right.
Financing makes a whole lot of decisions at a higher rate.
Support for this podcast comes from Moen. As the #1 faucet brand in North America, Moen offers a diverse selection of thoughtfully designed kitchen, bath, and smart water security products, each delivering the best possible combination of meaningful innovation, useful features, and lasting value. Moen strives to be the most durable, reliable, and easy-to-install brand of faucets. Moen leans on pros to help continue to drive consumer innovation and influence Moen's engagement with consumers in a meaningful way. For more information, visit plumber.moen.com. Support for this podcast comes from HD Supply. At HD Supply, our job is helping you do yours. We are uniquely positioned to help drive your business through unrivaled access to professional-grade plumbing, electrical, and HVAC products and innovative business solutions such as our Stockwise inventory management program, fully customizable to meet your needs and improve productivity. Our national network of distribution centers and more than 2,200 store locations nationwide provide a national reach with a local focus, providing unmatched convenience and product availability. We power pros to do more.
Always stick with the finance. I mean, even personally, I'm opposed. A Dave Ramsey fan, right? From years ago, baby step one.
Sure.
Get out of debt.
Mm-hmm.
Well, a little different when you're selling it, right? So you're selling it, zero decision. That is their decision, their finances, not for me to decide. But personally, I would, if I'm buying a car, I don't want to pay interest. If I'm going to buy a new car, it's going to be 0%. I'll wait 10 years to go buy a zero. Hopefully we don't wreck our current car because it's 0%, right?
Yeah.
If we got to go get a new one, we're going to be 5 or 10. So we have a plan that's the 699 plan, 6.99% for 120 months. Like long-term, high interest, in my opinion. That's my opinion. I'm not putting it on them.
No.
That is probably the most popular plan that we use. Yep.
Okay.
Most popular plan. Because it's 90 days, no payments. So I'm not going to have any payments for 90 days. Cool. A small window, but I don't have to pay for it right away.
Yeah.
And then I have, $150 payment.
And they can pay off early.
They can, of course. And that's the key piece is, hey, this is just a plan to get you from point A to point B. When you get your tax money and get some extra funds, pay this off. 99% of these loans are paid off in less than 18 months.
Mm-hmm.
So, of course, we have the 0 for 18.
Mm-hmm.
0 for 18 is going to be $1,000 a month.
Yeah.
Right? But the 699 for 120, that's $150 a month.
Yeah.
Can you afford $150 a month to make a good decision today?
Right.
And most of the time, right?
That's a line.
Right.
Make a good decision today.
Of course.
I like
Make that decision today. It's simple. Okay, I can do 150. Well, so the variable speed's 180. So for $30 a month, now we go ROI.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we're talking. So okay, hey, just to share with you, for an extra $30 a month, we can have the Ferrari.
Yeah.
And
that's the line.
Right.
We have the Ferrari.
For Lambo, whatever, BMW.
Yeah.
And you say the wrong word that might, yeah, I'm not a BMW fan,
Right.
Or they
But
every car to
tie it to something that they know more about.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just naturally, maybe I just do that naturally, but
Yeah.
So for the extra $30 a month, can we afford the variable speed setup? And by the way, we would qualify for a larger instant rebate. Our company is part of an instant rebate program where we get utility funds after, right? So we'll give it instant. We'll give the funds up at $800, $1,000 up front, right off the top. And that all I have to do is just take pictures and run a calculation from On4 and boom, we got those numbers up front. And those rebates, which is another clarity topic for companies.
Mm-hmm.
Some companies don't offer 100% rebate. The company's getting $900, but we're only going to give the customer $5. We thrive on selling it as we give you 100%. I'm going to share the calculator with you. I know I have all the tools at my expense here, or at my fingertips, to share with you, if you buy this exact equipment that gets this SEER 2, EER 2, SEER 1, all these numbers with this coil in this position installed today with your meter, you get $983, which will be applied right now on your. It's like, wow, like that's so accurate. And sometimes it takes a little bit of time and effort to get to that number, but it's worth it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, when they see that you're chasing every dollar you can, again, you're just proving value. It's just remaining consistent and proving that trust. And everything is transparent. I'm pulling it up on the iPad minus equipment pricing. Everything's transparent as I put in data, and like here, okay, you're buying a 28 SEER air conditioner. Well, it actually operates at 23 SEER.
Yeah.
So I need you to know that. You're buying an SL 28, but it operates at this level. Oh, really? Why is that? So you're getting the whole technical side where, some comfort advisors may not be able to explain those details where we're fluid in it.
Yeah.
So I think people see that whole streamlined process. So wrap up the sale, collect payment.
Well, hold on now.
Okay.
They don't always go that smoothly now, do they?
No, not at all.
I mean, I wish they did.
Yeah.
But let's go. This is a lot of money. I didn't expect. I mean, I just thought I had a quick repair.
Yep.
And we're going to have air. And now I'm staring at $20,000. I feel like I should really get another couple bids. So how do you handle that?
Hey, if I'm in that position, I have that same fair response. I've told my wife just about every day, like, man, I don't know that I would spend $20,000-$30,000. Like, these people spend money. But if I had someone that did all the things that I've done in front of people, maybe I would.
Yeah.
So when there is an objection, every objection is different. How to deal with it is different every time. If you've got all the decision makers in front of you and you've built value in everything that you've shared, what objections can be left? I just don't want to spend money. Okay, well, then I've missed something prior in my steps well, then we fall back onto the repair, right? So falling back to option A, we can always do this. I mean, the point of me being here today is to share with you what you've got and make sure you continue to do business with our company.
Right.
If today's not the right time, then, when would be that right time?
Yeah.
And pushing through, asking for the close, pushing through those objections as respectfully,
sure,
while still being bold in your conversation of what would it take? Do we want to look at different equipment? We've also got a different brand over here that we can look at. It's not in print, but I've got a lot of experience with X model or this carrier, whatever.
Yeah.
Try to fish out the objection. If the objection is, I think you guys are too high in price, what would be fair for, what is let me ask you a question. What is fair for what we're doing for you? Did you have a price point in mind?
Right.
Did you have a budget in mind? I know this was it was a maintenance and now we're 15, 20 grand.
Yeah.
Did you have a budget in mind? Did you have someone that you wanted me to talk to? If you've got all the decision makers in front of you, you can usually fish out the objections there.
Yeah.
And if it's price objection, of course we fall back on calling manager, right? So, hey, before I leave without your approval today, I understand you might need some time to think about it. There's not much else to think about. We've already talked about everything. There is nothing to think about other than getting the approval, right? Handing the money over. So if there's anything that I can do, I'm going to just give the manager a quick call, see if there's any extra incentive that we can offer you. Are you good with that? I'll step out just for a minute, because stepping out and removing yourself from the no objection is key.
Yeah.
So remove yourself from the scenario and go out to the truck. And it's painful, but sit in the truck for 5 or 10 minutes. They don't know who you're talking to. I usually call my wife. They don't know who you're talking to. Or I'll call someone else on the team.
Yeah.
Rarely do I need to call ownership. I have everything at my fingertips.
Yeah.
I know where I need to go. So if it gets into, okay, just going to give up some pay today to earn this job, then so be it.
Yeah.
So
those people just need a minute to collect themselves.
Yes. So I'm preparing, and so is the customers. So I'm preparing out in the truck. Okay, well, what is most important to these people? Was it IEQ that they don't want to pay for? So we throw it in.
Right.
Is it a free upgrade to do the job today or tomorrow? Like, hey, we're at a single speed. We can give you a free upgrade to the 2-speed.
Mm-hmm.
If we're able to earn your business. And you will have already had to build the value of $2,000, $3,000 difference that we're willing to give to you. Because I think at this point, going up is better than going down, because you can only go down in price so much, but you can go up so much more in value.
Right.
what's a UV light cost us? $500. Like we can throw in a UV light, but I've built value at, because the last 3 technicians that were here have built value at $1,595.
Yeah.
So how about we put 2 of these in for you, one on your other system. Look at the other systems. Are they lacking flood protection?
Mm-hmm.
Let's put that. I've already had this conversation with the customer.
Right.
We're already got that on the table. We're taking care of these other systems.
Right.
What is the key piece that's going to earn their business? If it's money, usually, right? It usually is.
Mm-hmm.
So if you've built enough value in giving something on the free upgrade side, then go in and offer it and give it everything you got. Give it everything you got.
Sure.
Hey, I just spoke with the owner of the company, and I want you to know we want to earn your business. Give me one last swing at trying to earn your business.
Okay.
Do you mind if I just offer you one more thing? And if both decision makers, they might have already said, let's go ahead and do it. But hey, I've got one more thing for you. And whatever that key piece is, it's different for every job. Free duct cleaning.
Will you volunteer that right away, or will you wait and sit down? Would you guys think about? I mean, you don't want to give that up if they just needed to clear their heads and go, okay, this makes sense.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the reason I stepped out was to call the management.
Yeah,
call manager, right? So now I'm walking in with
you got to have something.
The resolution, right? So hey, if we're able to install this for you today and solve this problem, or install for tomorrow, it's late in the day. If we can put this in for tomorrow, we've got an open spot.
Yeah.
Something I picked up from last year was getting a deposit if we get to that point.
Yeah.
If they're not ready to hand over $15,000, take a $500 deposit.
Yeah.
I haven't found success in that yet, but that's I remember that piece from last year, and I'm like, I got to remember that. But so coming back in the front door again, it's a reset. I've left my price book inside, so I have to come back inside to get it. And sometimes they'll come to the door with the price book, right? So it's like, you're getting shut down then.
Yeah.
But hey, I have to come back in. I always leave the iPad. I don't leave my phone, but leave the iPad or the price book, something to come back in for.
Right.
And your book is prepared with, or my book is prepared with leave behinds, right? And I'm going to circle and make personal marks on brochures, like this is the one, this is the size. So, not any pricing on it. It'll send a formal estimate if we're not leaving with the check.
Right.
But come in with the pickle at the end. The pickle at the end is, if we can earn your business for today or for tomorrow, we'd be willing to give you the free upgrade to the variable speed.
Mm-hmm.
Or I was able to call Lennox and talk to our Lennox rep, and we're able to do this for you or that for you. Just a little bit of extra footing, but just so you know, this is an offer to earn your business today, to keep a crew busy tomorrow. It's not to earn your business. It is to earn your business, but it's, for their view, it's to help our team stay busy. Right. Stay busy.
Yeah.
We got an open spot. We got 4 full-time W-2 employees of our company that we need to feed their families. So if you can do us a favor, let me earn your business. Tomorrow's not good, but I want to do it. Okay. Then let's get the signature. Let's take a $500 deposit. If you get the approval, but without the pay, I mean, how many times Michael, one of the owners, constantly rags on me for doing a credit check but not leaving with the close, right? Right. So they've let me check their credit.
Yeah.
But they're not giving me approval.
Yeah.
So what was the objection on that call? It was just not 100% willing to just hand it over today.
Yeah.
But you know what? We checked their credit. We got it. They don't want to check their credit again with another vendor.
Right.
So it's just that personality type sometimes just needs a minute.
Yeah.
Which now we're flipping it to a follow-up, right? So if we're leaving without the close, I've offered the last pickle of the day. We can do this tomorrow for this or for that. And there's anything's available to you, free hot water heater, get into the water conversation, because what's a hot water heater cost our company? We're $1,500 into putting a water heater in for them. Well, or a value of $1,500 towards a tankless, tankless, anything.
Yeah.
Like, hey, we knock out, if there's the objection to go on tankless is usually like gas pressure things and changes that I need a plumber on site to tell me.
Yeah.
Because I'm not experienced on that role, but sometimes you just got to sell it.
Yeah.
And if it's with the gas pressure side, okay, we got to do an exclusion or a disclaimer that, hey, I'm going to send the plumber out. We're going to go forward with HVAC. We're going to knock that out today. I'm going to send a plumber out here later today just to verify everything. And if we need to have a conversation once he's here, then I will be back involved in that conversation. So because you want to close the sale, right?
Sure.
So $7,000 for a tankless. Let's close that $7,000.
Yeah.
Let's get it in. And we can always credit it back. If that doesn't work out, I can take that $7,000 off and credit it back from financing. Water products is very helpful in more revenue. plus extra freebies at the end.
Right.
The pickle at the end is, how about we give you a free hot water here? I saw that 8-year-old hot water tank. It hasn't been flushed. We don't have history of touching it here. How about we throw in a hot water heater? Is that something that would, earn? So whatever is their piece, whatever floats their boat sort of thing. Right. And you got to pick that up in the last hour or two that you've been there.
Right. What percentage of your calls do you have to end up doing that versus people that are just like, just you shoot a couple objections, they go, okay, this makes sense.
Yeah. I think more than I think.
Yeah.
More than I think, because it's hard. You feel like you're losing the sale. You're not getting it. You're starting to question, did I build enough value here or there?
Right.
What did I miss on this one? And being super critical when really they just need the break from you walking outside, go spend 10 minutes in the truck.
Yeah.
Because I'm like Johnny on the spot. I want to run back in because I already have the answer. Like, I don't even need to do this, but this is a process.
That's what you call sneak.
Yeah.
Well, I have to go.
Yeah.
I just need to,
Yeah, she's sitting over here. She's like, you don't call me. So if they're just not willing to close that day, they're just that hardcore type that just says, I love everything you said. I love what your product is. I love the price. I'm just not going to do it today.
Right.
Okay, sir, now's the time where you flip the script and you stand up straight and you shake their hand and you say, would it be all right if I check in with you tomorrow morning?
Okay.
And first call of the day as I'm driving to the shop or whatever. Well, take a step back. I will always text with or without permission. I will text that customer as I'm leaving.
Okay.
I have a digital picture of my business card. Hey, thanks for meeting with me today. I'll check back in with you tomorrow, because you don't know how someone wants to communicate with you.
Sure.
So much of the world is digital, right? Where the old timers, they want you to call.
Yeah.
They want to hear your voice. They want to see you on site. Millennials, they want to text you. They want to email you. I'm a millennial.
Yeah.
I don't know that that's the greatest, term for myself, but how someone wants to communicate with you might be different than how you want to communicate with them. So
Sure.
Send them a text with a card. Hey, let me know anytime, because you never know. They might be sitting on their couch watching TV that night. Hey, Jeff, let's do it. Easiest way, and I'm prepared with DocuSign to send them the contract that night. I mean, how many times have I walked away from the dinner table to go fill out a contract and DocuSign it, because they are at a point where they said yes.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get it. Let's not set a follow-up to come back tomorrow morning.
Yeah. Don't have to.
No, don't have to. So send the contract, sign it. I can do financing over the phone. And that's a lot of the time is, hey, that's why I check a lot of credit, because that might be the pickle at the end.
Right.
Hey, let's make sure you qualify for this 0 for 60 before I leave. That way you can think on it tonight.
That's great.
You want to, and that's why the last piece of walking out, I'll scan the ID, do the quick credit check. It's quick. I can literally stand there and do a credit check within a few minutes.
Yeah.
And get approval for, $100K. Like, okay, so you are approved for $100K. You can buy 3 of these if you want, And they're like, oh, we don't need that much. And then, so now I've got them on the hook. Okay, well, I'm going to send you a text. And then if they don't respond to the text, that's not how they communicate.
Yeah.
Right? If they do, thank you for your time. You were wonderful. Great. You've got their attention. Now you have a responder on the text, and use that to your advantage tomorrow.
Yeah.
So it's like, hey, just checking in. Did you have some time to sleep on that? We can still do it today for you if you're interested. The offer's still on the table, right? Reassure them that when you left yesterday and you gave them that pickle, now it's still available today.
You don't have to renegotiate. We're just going to move forward.
Right.
Yeah.
Hey, kind of last chance. I just want you to know this is still available today. That way you have a community. And if they're going to go to market to get estimates, then we're playing the follow-up game.
So I was going to ask, how many times we can follow up before it's like, okay, it's back to the office?
Until you hear the word no.
Okay.
I mean, it's we have an ISR in our company, a newer position.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of, again, changing. And so the ISR role is to follow up behind. Sales technicians almost need an ISR,
Mm-hmm.
unless you were a prior salesperson and know how to do your follow-up process, right? So a sales technician going from technician role to sales tech, they need an ISR because they're so busy doing maintenance, cleaning units, they don't have the they don't have the time. They're beating the heat, right? So does a sales technician need an ISR? Yeah. And that sales tech can rely on that ISR to close more calls for them. Like, hey, in our office, Mary, she can close behind me, and I am proud of it when it happens. She calls, and I know, when she's calling, she's got a customer responding to her on our Hatch program.
Yeah.
And, Hatch is just an automated reach out to the customer, and if they respond, boom, she's involved on that. I don't have to manage it. And she'll occasionally call me and say, hey, can we do any better on this? They're looking for a discount. I'm like, I'm at max discount now.
Yeah.
So, but hey, do this for them, or let them know we can do it today, or offer something, and sometimes it's not just an offer. It's just, okay, we're going to do this now, and on this side, shoot, I could have probably done a better job of following up. It did it automatically. So I'm going to pay my 3% to that ISR and, slap me on the wrist. Don't let that happen again, because I'm going to follow up this next. So
sure,
the follow-up process on a CA, I mean, that's all you should do, right? Besides giving the free estimates, you should be following up all day.
Yeah.
And the follow-up process, again, how people want to communicate with you is key. Text, email, or phone calls. I can't tell you countless voicemails I've left.
Sure.
Friendly voicemails. Shoot, I went to the Harley dealership, and this guy, Jerry, won't stop calling and leaving me. But what am I learning from him?
Yeah.
That when it's time for me to buy a Harley, I'm going to go see Jerry.
Yeah.
Because, my wife's shaking her head. She said no. But Jerry calls every month. On the first or second of the month, it's his protocol to call, and I expect his call. I don't know. It's someone's calling me from Allen. I'm like, all right, because could be a customer, right? Pick up. Hey, Jeff, it's Jerry. Well, so what I'm learning from Jerry is that he is remaining in contact with me, and when I become a buyer, he's going to be the first one I go see.
Yeah.
So I want to be Jerry, right? And I'm going to sell the Harley, right? I'm going to sell the system. So the follow-up process, and we joke about it, but truly it is just as technical as doing a maintenance.
Right.
A follow-up process is you've got to have layers to your follow-up. You can't just randomly call a customer with nothing to say.
Yeah.
And just, hey, Joni, I'm just checking in on you, making sure that, you've, first of all, confirming you've got the estimate. Maybe we had the wrong email. And yes, they usually get the email.
Sure.
But that just breaks the ice. And
Absolutely.
Was there anything else that we can do on that? Or, just curious what it would take to earn your business. It's I've got my granddaughter this month or this weekend. It's just not a good time. Okay, well, would it be okay? When does your granddaughter go back? And I'll give you a call that Monday or Tuesday. Does that work? Yeah, that works. Okay.
Yeah.
So set a reminder. Call. If you don't call, you screwing up. So,
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So call Joni. Call Joni when the granddaughter's gone. Now I have Joni's attention. I built 2-3 hours with her on site. She knows me. She knows our company. She knows. She's found us through wherever referral.
People are busy.
Very.
And if your granddaughter, you don't see her a couple times, you don't want to deal with
no
right now.
And Joni knows that I don't want to interfere with that.
Right.
But I know that Joni knows that I'm Jerry, right?
Yeah.
That's right. I'm going to keep calling until I get a no.
Yeah.
If Joni says, nope, I'm not interested any longer, then, okay, the deal's dead.
Yeah.
I've done everything I could with Joni. And, the reality is you're not going to close all of them.
Sure.
But being that effort or giving that your most effort on the follow-up to be genuine on the phone with something.
Yeah.
I think that's the hardest piece is what can I call Joni with? How can I earn her business?
Right.
I've literally offered everything on the table.
Sure.
We're at cash discount. We can't go any further. We can't do a free upgrade. She's not even interested in the upgrade. Yep. She's a basic buyer, right?
Yeah.
Single speed. I just need to replace my 20-year-old stuff. I know it's going to fail this year. How do I earn her business? Well, I price conditioned her on site between 10 and 12 grand entry level based on how you pay. Well, what does she hear? She hears 10 grand.
10 grand.
So now I've shot myself in the foot. So with Encore, with all of our incentives, we're at 10-1.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm on the phone with Joni, and she's kicking back over this $100. I'm like, Joni, Joni, I'm doing this job for free for you.
Yeah.
And I want you to know I want to earn your business. But you have got to know, don't let $100 separate you from quality. Yeah. Don't let $100 separate you from Jeff, from doing a good service for you. You know I'm going to come to your home on the day of so I'm going to introduce our installers, and you're going to have an amazing, just, Joni, let's have a conversation. Let's be real.
Yeah.
Don't let $100 separate you from the quality of our company.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's all it is. So Joni, I still have not sold Joni,
okay.
Right? We're over the $100.
Uh-huh.
She's going to the credit union. She's going to get a check.
Okay.
We've earned her business at $10,100, right? Still haven't done the job yet, but some of those, and it'll never fail. Joni's job will take a lot of attention and time.
Sure.
Where these $30,000, $40,000 jobs go seamlessly and I won't even hear from the customer. And Joni will probably call me 4 times that day.
Yeah.
And I'll be on site because so you have to somewhat change So following up with Joni, it's like,
But Joni might talk to five
that's right, Bob.
buddies. Yeah.
That's key. And that's exactly what I already told Joni. I said, Joni, I'm doing this job for free for you.
Yeah.
Just personally, if I could give you $100, I would.
Yeah.
But I can't. You know, I'm literally earning your business for the next one.
Yeah.
You know, and we have a different, if we give up commission on a job, it goes into a pot that builds our sold days. And if we reach a certain sold day for the month, there's a bonus there.
Yeah.
So potentially this is just going to add to my queue over here. But sure. So we always want to earn the business regardless. But
Absolutely.
so Joni will be a tough install. She was a tough one to follow up with. I mean, over and above to earn a job that pays nothing, right? But what does it pay?
Yeah.
It pays her shouting on the tops of hills that Rescuer did an awesome job.
Yeah.
You know, and we got all the rebates and we worked discounts and we did a good job. Our team needs to thrive on that call because she feels like she's committed to leaving us a 5-star review when we're done.
Right.
Because of the discount that we've given her and the conversations that her and I have had.
Sure.
So, yes, we need to do a phenomenal job there. Even though it's for pennies on the dollar, we need to do an amazing job there because she's going to be our cheerleader. Right. So, and yes, Joni knows she's gonna leave us a review at the end of the job, and I'm gonna ask for it. Right. Asking for the review on the end of a maintenance, we ask for a review. How do we market our company for free? We ask for the review.
Absolutely.
Right. How much are these leads costing? Well, not much if they've seen a review that they left for free. We just had to ask for it.
Yeah.
You know, gentleman in our company, Roman, he's the king of reviews. I don't know if you know Roman. He is literally the king. I don't know how he does it.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I do, but
He's a unique character. Yeah.
he is.
Yeah.
And, you know, he will not leave a home.
Yeah.
I swear to God, he will not leave a home without asking for a review. And if they said yes, he will stand there and wait till they leave the review. He'll show them how to do it.
Yeah.
You know, pull Sam and respond and leave a review. Okay, thank you for leaving it on Google. Let me show you how to leave it on Yelp.
Yeah.
And I mean, the man is a machine.
Yeah.
It blows me away. So, I mean, props to him too. He's shown me how important it is.
Sure.
To ask for the review, and you're asking for a report card at the end of you. So it's pretty rare someone's going to leave a negative review if you're asking for a review, right? So or you'll get the information up front. So
Yeah.
And that's something with Joni. Absolutely. Joni knows that I'm going to, I've already asked her, but I said, don't leave it yet. You know, wait till we perform and we get on the show. And she was so extremely specific because I listened to her phone call on the way. I'm sorry to get off on a tangent.
No,
Joni,
it's great.
But it's just recent. So listen to her phone call on the way there. She was extremely particular.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, I don't want 2 salespeople in my house. I want 1. This is a free estimate.
Yeah.
I want 1 person, not 2, because I don't trust if I can't see. And she followed me up into the attic and she followed everything. She looked at my paperwork. She wrote notes. You know, if someone's taking notes, you have their attention.
Absolutely.
So extremely detailed woman, and you know, look forward to doing her job. I know. So, and also, I'm selling what I trust in too. I trust in our team. I've seen firsthand that we are going to do a good job.
Yeah.
And the reassurance is, if something is not done right, we'll make it right.
Yeah.
And she knows that.
Yeah.
So when I told her that I couldn't hit the $10,000 mark, we're at 10-1. It was $10,096, right? Like $96. Yeah. And she said, "Well, I've already talked to my credit union, and $10,000's the max." I'm like, okay, Joni, what are we doing here? Sorry, I got off on a tangent.
No, that's great. I love it.
Very detailed person.
Yeah.
And I think
Did
that
you get those?
Yeah. Oh, what I was going to say was she told me, well, I stopped looking after you told me you could do it for $10,000. I stopped looking, Jeff. I stopped completely. Well, I appreciate you stopping because obviously, you made your decision at the time when I left your home.
Yeah.
We just had to square away the price point. Here we are, and she's like, well, check over the weekend if you can get that $10,000. I'm like, now it's principle. Like, you got to know, we don't work for free here. I mean, I'm working for free here, Joni, but these guys don't work for free. I got to maintain what my owner, and I'm putting it on the owner.
Yeah.
I put it on Schroeder management that this is I've got to follow the rules. I'm a rule follower, Joni. This is where we're at, and I can't go any further.
Yeah.
So I hope you see value in what our list price in that job is. 15.4. We're at 10.1. Joni, we're 35% off here. You
did well.
Yeah, you did really good job. You beat me up. But so getting that clientele and then getting the clientele on the high end, you got to be able to shift. Yeah. So she was all follow up.
Yep.
Back on the follow up process, just calling with genuine conversation. Leave a voicemail. They have to hear your genuine voice.
Yeah.
Hey, this is Jeff from Rescuer. I wanted to check in and let you know I'm still here.
Yeah.
Communication's gone a little dark, but I want you to know we've got a lot of incentive on this end. I know the airflow to Sally's room isn't the greatest. We'd love to fix that for you. Just give me a ring back when the time's right, or text back at any time. You can email. Just want to touch base with you and let you know I'm still here when you're ready. Talk to you soon, and just click, right? And you get the call, sometimes you don't.
Yeah.
So as long as I'm following that process, then it can only be successful by the end of the year.
Right? Well, I wanted a few wrap-up questions, though. What do you think, maybe for somebody who's new, let's say put yourself where you were 20 years ago, what advice would you have for a young Jeff on how to be successful in this industry?
Yeah, just no distractions, right? We have so many distractions. Young technicians, distracted all day long. All day long. Tuck your shirt in, wear your uniform, follow the process. And that may seem simple to say, but it is so difficult to play out, right? Don't smoke a cigarette before you walk into someone's house. Like, you think these are very, very basic things for senior technicians to know, but kick that habit. You want to be successful in this trade, be real with yourself and kick that habit.
Yeah.
Because you're in people's homes. I know for a fact we smell everyone that comes in our house. As weird as that is, we smell them. Yeah. We know if they smoked a pack of Reds before they
yeah.
So, follow the process and just don't be distracted by YouTube all day long. Get to your next call. Be respectful of the people that are above you. Yeah, they want you to be successful, because if you're not successful, the teams aren't successful. The company is successful. So kind of believe in the, which requires accountability on management side, and also being on the senior side of things. Managers make mistakes, try not to beat them up. I know I've beat our managers over the head with things over the last 2 years, 3 years. We've been through a lot of changes, and there's been a lot of beatings, right?
Yeah.
And I know that Mike and Josh, the owners of the company, have been through a lot. So be patient with who's above you, and know that they want you to succeed, because if you can't succeed, they can't succeed.
Yeah, absolutely.
So knowing that, we've lost a few through a transition recently, but we've gained more.
Yeah.
So what do we do to slow down this revolving door and keep people glued in, remove the distractions for someone young?
Yeah.
Bring them in, make them feel important, because they are. Bring them in the morning, buy them breakfast, buy them donuts, buy them coffee, thank them. The ride-alongs, some people like the ride-alongs, some people hate them.
Yeah.
I maybe ride along with a senior technician first before we do management. That, just kind of thinking what made me uncomfortable as a young technician was ride-alongs. Like,
sure.
Yeah, I'm not confident. I'm young.
Right.
It's, and we know that on the senior side, we know that person's not going to be confident. They're going to screw up. They're going to forget their name on the porch.
Yeah.
Like, hi, I'm, like, they're going to be green. So maybe riding with a senior technician first, that's going to take them to lunch, and, enjoy the day and see this process, because the more you get your nerves calmed down, the more genuine you'll be in front of a homeowner. Which, what do you want with a homeowner? You want that relationship. You want to know that you're as confident as you can be in the position you're in.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I'm 2 years into this trade. I'm going to screw up, but I'm going to do my best here.
Yeah.
I'm going to clear those drains the best I can. And if I need help, I'm going to call on a senior tech to get out here. If this is be willing to ask for help.
Yeah.
So a lot of my learning has been from making mistakes. Like, man, how many calls have I lost? How many jobs have I lost because I didn't ask for the close?
Yeah.
I mean, the younger technicians need to ask for the close for sure. And that's something that, if a homeowner says, no, I'm not, okay, and run out the front door. Well, is there anything else that, I could share with you on that? Or just ask more questions, know the right questions to ask.
Yeah.
And just kind of trust the process, because, these guys that are above us have been in the trade for 10 plus years in business. What's it like running $20, $30 million, $100 million company.
Right.
You go through it. So kind of trust and communication is key. So we're just communicating with your direct manager, not jumping the chain of command's big, right? In the military, not jumping the chain of command and going straight to the king, or the colonel.
Yeah.
Go to your manager first, work out your issues, work out whatever's going on.
That's
keep it at a good level, so that you're not ruining your reputation.
Absolutely.
Because you only get one chance at your reputation, right?
No, that's a very good point. Yeah. Stevie, last question: what motivates you day to day? to do as well. I'd be so thorough, and I mean, you really outlined the process beautifully.
No, thank you.
I mean, so what motivates you to do so well every day?
I mean, the simplistic answer is money always motivates, right? I want to achieve in business so I can achieve elsewhere. I can achieve in my personal life. I mean, balance is key, right? We can't work every hour of the day, but taking advantage of when it's good to work, and then taking advantage of when it's time to take a break. Go enjoy the money you've made, buy your toys, hang out with your family, go on trips, go on vacation, enjoy life.
Yeah.
So that all of this is worth something, right? You can't leave this world with all these toys. So let's enjoy our relationships and, you know, what we build inside and outside of work.
Sure.
You know, and I think that's really all it is, right? Is what motivates you other than money. I mean, doing right by who's in front of you.
Yeah.
You know, building trust and knowing that you had an option to go one way or another with a customer, and you led them through a process that built trust and gave them exactly what they needed. It's the feeling of accomplishment.
Yeah.
You know, like, man, not just closing the job, but I know I did everything I could on that job, and I know I did right by that customer, left with a 0 ticket.
Yeah.
But I know that customer will come back in 6 months and do business with us, or when the time is right, knowing that you leave them with a 0 ticket, which is never a good thing.
Sure.
But knowing that I built rapport with that person, and maybe next time they call in, hey, I want that last guy that was here. I don't remember his name. Hopefully they remember my name, but if they don't remember my name, then I want that last guy. And we looked through our history, and it was Jeff, and now they're ready to buy.
I like it.
So yeah, just doing right.
Right.
And I mean, you can't be in the sales position if you're not motivated by dollars. Come on, you know? Always been motivated by dollars to buy things on the outside. You know, have a nice home and cars and take care of your family.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, Jeff, thank you so much for all your time. I've really enjoyed it. This is great.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Support for this podcast comes from Amana. Amana brand is a premium brand from Daikin, the world's #1 indoor comfort solutions company with over 20,000 employees in North America alone. Originating 8 decades ago, the Amana brand is synonymous with long-lasting premium quality products. Chances are you and generations before you have enjoyed the dependable performance and longevity that the Amana brand continues to deliver. Today, Amana brand systems like the new S-Series site discharge system with inverter technology are manufactured with high-quality materials and innovative technologies. The unique design and excellent energy-efficient performance of the S-Series is a fraction of the size of other Amana brand systems. Because of its slim design, it's easy to transport and install. The Amana brand S-Series system is available in AC, heat pump, and dual fuel configurations. Every Amana brand indoor comfort product is built to our highest standards. The S-Series is no different. Take comfort with its 10-year parts and lifetime unit replacement limited warranties. For more information on the Amana S-Series, follow the Amana brand on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. The Successful Contractor Podcast is part of the Certain Path family. Certain Path builds successful home service businesses and has for 23 years. We do it by providing contractors with a proven path to success, professional coaching, software solutions, and a member community of over 1,000 contractors just like you. Doubling your sales with a 20% net profit and an inspiring company culture is all possible. Let us show you the way. With Certain Path, success is made certain. Visit www.mycertainpath.com for more information.